Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How are you doing? It's Trina. Cormac Cahill is with us from the Alzheimer Society of Ireland. Hello, Cormac. Your big event is coming up, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. Look, Memory Walk, it's a nationwide event, 40 locations across Ireland on Sunday the 22nd of September. It gives families, friends, those living with dementia a great opportunity to come together, share old memories and to create new ones.
So it's very much, with Alzheimer's, we're hearing more and more people seem to have it, and once you say a family member has it, you'll hear the next person you're speaking to also has somebody who has it. It's very much a case of you need support around you, don't you, as well, and people who are in the same boat?
Absolutely. It's such a big shock, obviously, to any family if there's a diagnosis. And even at the Alzheimer Society of Ireland, we provide lots of supports and services for people, both living with dementia, but also for the family carers as well. And we're obviously aware if there's a diagnosis within the family, it impacts on siblings, on friends, on the wider community as well. So we're actually doing lots of work within communities in terms of outreach and things like that to make communities more dementia inclusive as well. Like some of the key supports that we provide, especially for family carers, they feel a huge brunt of this, obviously. We do family carer training, both online and in-person courses, and they're hugely popular, oversubscribed actually, but they provide people with very much kind of hands-on support to help them guide and navigate through this very kind of challenging experience.
Because before this kind of help was available, people did really feel helpless. They didn't know where to turn to, they didn't know what to do, they felt overwhelmed dealing with this getting the news, I guess, in the first place, and then what happens next?
Yeah, such a good point, actually. Even the Alzheimer Society of Ireland, we came into existence, 1982? It's not that long ago, really. And when we were formed, it was formed by two family carers. There was actually nothing available there for people. There was no information, there was no signposting, there was no nothing. And you bring that forward about 2 years, whatever it might be now, there is support there for people. We have dementia advisors in every county in Ireland. We have a national helpline, for example, and we do have lots of both in-person supports and also online supports as well, depending on where people want to access that kind of help. It is hugely challenging, but it's so important that people have this kind of awareness about dementia. And that's why things like Memory Walk help as well, because it's not just about creating awareness amongst people who maybe are kind of in the thick of it. It's very much about the wider community being open and being inclusive, and that bit of acceptance around people with dementia as well.
Even when you think of it, a neighbour who might be always getting locked out of their house, or you might see them going in the local shop 3 times a day buying the same loaf of bread, things like that. Some people won't know that that's the reason they're doing it. And often it can be the case where somebody who has dementia and they know that they have it, they have the diagnosis, and they're very private. They don't want people knowing, they don't want the help. Even with carers coming in, they don't want to be seen with the carer almost.
Yeah, we do experience that, and this is World Alzheimer's Month, September, so it's a busy time in terms of creating awareness about dementia right across Ireland, right across Europe and the world actually, but there is still a stigma around dementia actually. It's funny you should mention that still exists. A lot of people are maybe some people even who don't have a diagnosis are maybe a little bit, afraid perhaps to kind of come forward, ring the helpline, get in touch with your GP. They're afraid almost to make that first step. And even if they do have a diagnosis, they can be afraid to, as it were, come out to their community, talk to their community about it. But because there are supports and services out there, and we would always encourage anybody who's experiencing, early symptoms or signs of dementia over a period of time to talk, ring our helpline, get in touch with one of our dementia advisors, because they'll put you on the right course. And we've talked to people, advocates who are living with dementia now, and they've said when they talk to their community about it and they're open about their diagnosis, it's made a huge difference to how they feel about themselves, how they feel about, interacting with their community as well. And it's important for, shops and shopping centres and things like that to start opening up their doors and being more, do some dementia awareness training, for example, so they can be more accepting of people who live with dementia in their own community.
So the dementia advisors that you mentioned, what exactly do they do? Will they put you in touch with, places to contact, or what exactly is their role?
Yeah, it's a really important signposting service, but they'll give people help, they give people advice, signpost them on to other supports and services, both within the Alzheimer Society of Ireland, so it's very much like a first port of call almost. But that dementia advisor, they could stay with people for for a number of years and start navigating the early challenges and then the challenges that come later on as well. And they're there for the person living with dementia, but also for the family carer as well, because the family carer needs a lot of support, training, things like that are available. The dementia advisor will come into your home, will help you, support you. All the information for these are on the Alzheimer.ie website. Even for our advocates, for people who want to, do media interviews or talk openly about dementia, they'll come through the dementia advisors or our helpline as well, So for people who maybe want support, bit of help, the dementia advisor is the best place to go. We've one in every county, which is a fantastic thing to say.
The money from the Memory Walk will help to, support things like daycare at home, the social clubs, the cafes, there's the national helpline. There's so many things that money will go towards. And you know what? You don't know that you need it until you need it, and you're in that situation and you're like, where do I turn to for help? Another thing I just wanted to point out is, like, with dementia, I think people think, and Alzheimer's, people think, oh, that's something that really old people get. It's not the case. There's people with early onset.
Yeah, and I think it's now 1 in 10 people who are diagnosed with dementia in Ireland is actually under the age of 65. And we do have an increasing number of people with younger onset who are looking for support. And the type of support people with younger onset dementia, people under 65 who maybe have kids in college or kids in school, the supports and services they need are very different to someone perhaps over the age of 65. So we are looking to develop some supports and services. We've a service down in Besborough, for example, specifically for the younger cohort, because their needs are very, very different. Dementia can impact people of all ages, and we'll see that even on Memory Walk. People who have a dementia diagnosis, will be out walking. Family members will be out walking. Maybe young people who want to support their grandparent who has dementia. So it's a very much a family-friendly event where everybody can come out into the community and talk about dementia. It's really, really important. But you're right, it can impact people under the age of 65. And when people hear that, they can get very, very surprised, but it is unfortunately a reality of it.
Well, you can register at memorywalk.ie, and full details of the walk times and the meeting points are available on memorywalk.ie. And look, adult registration, 20 quid, what would you do? And a child's pack is only a £5. And that money can help so much, can't it, really?
Absolutely, makes a massive difference. Like, as you said, those supports and services, your daycare at home, dementia advisor service, social clubs, cafes, national helpline, like these are all key supports and services that really help people in all of our communities.